Hello and welcome to Afaria 401, Decommissioning. At the end of this course, you'll be able to manage and control devices in a BYOD environment, identify ownership of an enterprise or personal device, execute a remote lock, execute a passcode reset, execute a selective wipe, and execute a remote wipe. A recent trend in the industry is to allow users to bring in their own device, also known as BYOD. While this may appear to present complexities, not so for Afaria. Afaria allows you to identify a device by its owner, and with Afaria's group administration capabilities, you can easily manage enterprise or personal devices together or distinctly. For almost all devices, you typically have PIM data, or personal information management data, deployed to the phone. PIM data includes email, contacts, and calendar. During the early years of smartphones, this was the main purpose of deploying a smartphone. For enterprises, this is essentially data deployed and managed through Microsoft Exchange or Lotus Notes. But now that people are bringing in their own phones, in addition to the enterprise data, you may now have personalized PIM data as well, creating two sets of PIM data. Also, when a user brings in their own device, there may also be personal photos, their music and video collection, and any other apps they may already have installed. This could be a mix of enterprise apps and personal apps downloaded and installed by the user. Again, enterprise apps would be controlled, while the user may have full control over any other apps that either came with the device or that they installed. The key to managing BYOD devices in a mixed-use landscape is being able to identify enterprise-owned versus employee-owned devices and being able to manage and control the accounts independently. In a BYOD landscape, while the enterprise has rights to deploy and manage enterprise data, it must not, however, do the same for personal PIM data and must leave the personal data alone. You simply cannot just wipe the entire phone. In some countries, particularly in Europe, common law mandates that personal data must be left alone. Fortunately, on most smartphones, both enterprise and personal data are managed as separate accounts. While there may be an option to use or otherwise display the data in a single view, the accounts are actually managed separately. And since the accounts are managed separately, Afaria can control them separately and independently. And typically, email, calendar, and contacts are the only duplication of PIM data to which we must be concerned. We don't usually find duplicate sets of most other data or duplicate apps. To identify the owner of the device, first navigate to the Devices list. Locate the device or devices you want to change. Here, we use a filter to find multiple devices for a single user. Select the devices you want to modify. Note that you can select multiple devices. Once the devices are selected, click on the Modify Device Owner icon in the menu bar. In the Modify Device Ownership dialog, select either Corporate or Personal. There's a default value you can set in the server properties if your devices are either predominantly one or the other, which helps you manage by remembering the most popular configuration for your devices. Device security takes place on a number of levels. Devices must be secured and controlled every step of the way. Afaria supports numerous functions that are fundamental to device security and decommissioning. This includes, among others, passcode reset, remote lock, unapprove a device, remove a device, and remote wiping. Also, don't forget that many of these same functions can be performed by users themselves in Afaria's self-service portal. Let's execute a remote lock on the device. After finding the device you want, select the device. On the icon menu bar, click on the icon to execute the remote lock. The device will be locked. A user can log on to the device again by simply entering the device passcode. Now let's execute a passcode reset and clear a user's passcode. This is a best practice for security, as Afaria will not allow you to share a user's own passcode with them for security reasons. A passcode reset is used when either the user forgets the passcode or it's necessary to unlock a device after the device's auto-lock feature is triggered. Again, select the device for which you'd like to reset the passcode. The passcode is reset. Since the device is in a group that has had a passcode security policy pushed to it, the device cannot remain without passcode security, and the user will find that when they unlock the device, they're again prompted to enter a replacement passcode. Enter the new passcode. Confirm the passcode. The passcode now has been reset. Selective wipe is a term used to identify that a device has been removed from MDM control without performing a hard reset or entire wipe of the device. When a selective wipe is performed, all that happens is that Afaria controls are removed from the device and the device itself is left intact. On the mobile device within Mail, it shows the enterprise email account. Afaria would have previously set this up during enrollment. You can access those emails by tapping on them. Returning to the mailboxes list, you can see that both an enterprise account is displayed, as well as a personal email account. To execute a selective wipe, for Apple iOS devices, you must first remove control from the device. What that does is delete the payloads that were installed on the device during enrollment. This step is not required for non-iOS devices such as Android. Find the device for which you'd like to remove control, and select the icon that allows you to selective wipe or remove control from the selected device. A command is sent in the background to remove the MDM payloads installed on the device. Now on the device, Afaria has removed all of the profiles it originally deployed. You can validate this through the device settings under General and then Profiles. As you can see, none exist. Going back into email, only the personal account remains, and the enterprise email account, including contacts and calendar, now have been selectively wiped. Optionally, you can delete the device from Afaria by selecting it and selecting the delete icon. You can delete its data or leave it intact for historical purposes, but in either case, the device is removed from Afaria's control, and for a user's device, full control is returned to the user. Performing a remote wipe will perform a reset on the device, and all data, enterprise and personal, will be permanently erased. To execute a remote wipe, find the device and select the icon for Remote Wipe. Confirm and make sure that this is what you really want to do. Once the device receives the command, it's reset. Now that the device has been reset, it must be set up again. You should now be able to manage and control devices in a BYOD environment, identify ownership of an enterprise or personal device, execute a remote lock, execute a passcode reset, execute a selective wipe, and execute a remote wipe.